right, guys, we are moving on to the next section. I hope this footage looks okay. I've kind of got a new camera. It's a tracking camera. I've used a couple different ones. I'm hoping this one works good. I can see the footage isn't the sickest quality, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the information. As long as you guys are getting something out of this, I feel like I'm accomplishing something. So we've got a nice big boulder here. You can see it's 3-4 feet. Uphill approach. We've got snow on the ground. It's very slick, very muddy. We've got to get up this obstacle. So there's a lot to be said about the approach here, and something I really want to dig in on, and something that I don't hear, honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about this, is power delivery and collection. Okay, so it's very easy to deliver power, but what nobody talks about is how we maintain traction. The way that we do that is we collect our power after our momentum is established, okay? So if I just hold it wide open the whole entire time, I'm probably going to spin on the obstacle. I mean, how many of you guys have rode over a rock, a log, a boulder, a ledge, and spun your tire on that obstacle? Well, that's because it wasn't in your power delivery that the problem lies. It was your collection of the power after you've delivered it. So understanding power collection is so key to your technical terrain approach and essentially any approach. We're always collecting our power. So learning how to be very efficient in that is extremely important. And I've got some insights that I want to break down using this obstacle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this twice. I'm going to do two different approaches. One, how I would usually do it, and then one slight variation to that approach. Understanding, oh my gosh, it's harder to walk out here than it is to ride. Understanding that what we're talking about is power delivery and collection. We're also going to break down a little bit of body position, some different understandings here, but let's get right into it with an approach. So again, our focus on this is power delivery and collection. I need to deliver power here to find momentum, establish my momentum, then collect my power as I ride over the top of the obstacle. If I stay on the power, I will spin my tire. So I want you to listen first on where the power is delivered, then collected. And I'm going to talk about how I collect it after. Okay, so I set up. This is about how I would approach it in a race. And like I said, I'll do a variation of that after. So we're set up here, steady throttle. I'm already slipping the clutch into the friction zone. You can hear it. I already am establishing that traction. I'm already establishing that movement. In fact, I'm holding my front brake back just a little because I like to be as far into that friction zone as possible to make that transition to clutch out much easier, right? Each time we transition from clutch in to clutch out, we are risking breaking traction. So we're trying to be very deliberate there. We're slipping the clutch, hips back. I'm going to stand up, hopefully find balance quickly, load into the obstacle, and ride over. I'm a little cold here, so hopefully I can get this first try. Here we go. Yeah, that works. That didn't work. Okay. So, you guys saw there. A lot of load. Had a good amount of momentum as well. Really was quite easy to get up. I almost jumped up the face of it. So first off, obviously, we have a decent amount of balance coming in. I want to be up on the pegs, balance centered, clean approach. As I get that front tire into the air, the front tire drives into the obstacle. So you saw there, my front tire hit about right there. As my front tire drives into the obstacle, my suspension compresses. As that suspension is compressing, my momentum with my body, okay, I'm disconnected from the bike. I'm not connected to it. As that front tire drives into it, my momentum with my body moves in front of the machine. As that suspension rebounds, I'm letting out of the clutch completely and riding up the obstacle, allowing the bike to come out from under me and riding over the top. You can see that movement there. The key piece to that is not just the body position. It is the understanding of collection up the face of the obstacle. So I'm on the power here. I load the engine clutch in. As I come up the face of the obstacle, notice what I'm doing with my hands here. As I come up the face of the obstacle, that front tire drives in, I reduce the throttle and release the clutch. Reduce the throttle, release the clutch, nearly simultaneously. That is creating a load of power on the flywheel, inertia with the flywheel, spinning, piston, flywheel, everything that's moving, right, has inertia, object in motion, stays in motion, blah, blah, blah. So as I release that power, I engage the clutch, that takes that load of power and transfers it to the rear tire, then I don't spin on top of the obstacle. I'm collecting my power. I'm collecting that delivery of power to then create efficient traction over the top. And you can see I didn't spin at all. In fact, this is awesome. You can count every single knob. I didn't spin one bit as I went over the top. So that understanding of collection there creates tractable control. Now, the other way, which I'm a little nervous about, to be honest, this is going to help your guys' understanding of that power delivery and collection a little more. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to essentially go at this like a motocross start, okay? I'm going to hit this way harder. I'm going to hold it on here, get into it all fast, and I want you to talk about the differences in the two approaches. So this time we're going to load it, and I'm going to do it on the pegs because it is a big load and I'm a little bit scared. So here we are, we're on our pegs, we're balanced, we're controlled. Oh no. I'm so glad I got that on camera. Okay, that's what we wanted. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't expect that to happen, but that is the perfect example. And I hope that everything went perfect on the filming there. That is the perfect example of why I don't usually go wide open into an obstacle. The more power that you deliver, the more power you have to collect. So holding it wide open means you have to still collect all that power. So I went wide open, slipped into it. Now I'm focusing on collecting. I didn't even know where I was as far as like where I need to be on the throttle, clutch, how much momentum I have. I let off, I collected it, but I didn't get enough pop to go up. The more power you deliver, the more power you have to collect. I collected too much, right? And didn't make it up with the momentum that I established early. So here's the thing about the best riders in the world. The best riders in the world have an ability to deliver maximum power, then transition to minimum power after their momentum is established. The riders who can make that transition faster from maximum to minimum, the better rider you're looking at. Manny Lettenbichler, Billy Bolt, Tristan Hart, Cody Webb, Colton Haker, Ryder LeBlond, my favorite riders, all of them, they are masters at delivering power and collecting power quickly. The quicker you can collect it, the better off you are. I mean, honestly, that's a great fail. It's embarrassing, but I don't care. I'll put it on the internet. What I was more worried about was hurting my bike. I got a clinic this weekend, and yeah, I didn't want to hurt my bike. Should we do it again? I think we should. Once again, guys, the more power you deliver, the more power you have to collect. And often, establishing too much power is unnecessary, like in this situation. There you go. As I said, delivery, collection, delivery, collection. The more power you deliver, the harder it is to collect because it's just more. More is harder. Less is better. Listen to Graham Jarvis ride, man. I mean, he's probably one of my favorite riders of all time. I mean, he's most people's favorite rider because he's incredible. he is so low on the power, it's incredible to watch. So once again, the goal here, I think as I was falling off the side of that, I think you can hear me go, oh no. Once again, I like the stand-up approach. This is why balance is so important, because it's kind of taking a step out of it, right? Instead of having to come up onto the peg and find center, as you stand up onto the peg with one foot, you're pressing harder on one peg, and that's going to knock you out of balance. So starting in a balanced position, to me, puts me in a better position. Here we go. Set up. This is how I'd usually hit it. Very nice. You can see there, smooth, controlled power delivery. Collection, you can hear the bike chug down into the bottom. Quicker we can collect that power, the better off we are. That was cool. I'm glad I got a little fail. You guys are gonna light me up for that probably. Awesome, awesome. That's fun stuff. I hope that understanding of collection maybe clears that up a little bit for you guys. What we're constantly doing in a double blip, in a splatter, up a hill even, we're delivering maximum, finding minimum to maintain momentum. And that's what we're going to do on this next section. On to our final section here. This is kind of a culmination of everything. We've got a nice rocky canyon here. I'm going to try to get as many angles of this as I can. The goal here is maintaining momentum. So as I said earlier on the first section, my goal is to establish momentum here. Smooth release of the clutch. Then after that, I actually try to stay off of the clutch completely. So through this entire uphill, for the most part, I'm going to stay off of the clutch. I want to make sure that I'm capable of maintaining momentum, but I'm not hindering that by going in and out of the friction zone. Each time I come in with the clutch, right, that ends up making a transitionary point for my traction to my rear tire. Does that make sense? So if I'm going in and out with the clutch, although you can find that kind of friction zone to maintain traction, in slick situations, after you've established your momentum, getting off of the clutch and just trying to maintain momentum with the throttle is huge. It's such a key piece to your slick situation approach. And again, if we're transitioning from in and out with the clutch, that transition from all the way engaged to disengaged, that transition creates a break in traction. That's what we're trying to avoid. So nice and smooth here. I'm going to establish my momentum. Key piece is making sure I'm maintaining peg weight, right? So each time I dab from right to left, I'm going to try to, the whole section, I'm going to try to no dabs, right? But if I need to dab, boom, I'm going to maintain momentum, not slow down, and only use those dabs for correction and balance while heavy weight on the other peg, right? So that is a key piece. Hips back most of the time through here, off that clutch, smooth throttle. I only use the clutch to load before an obstacle, right? That's where we can kind of engage that flywheel, get that inertia spinning within the engine, and then deliver that, creating tractable control like we did there. I'm sure you guys enjoyed my crash. And yeah, let's give her a run. Like I said, I'm gonna have a few angles of this, breaking it down for you, but let's see how it goes. Nice and smooth, controlled, establishing momentum. Off the clutch completely at this point. Hips back. Little clutch here. Off the clutch. Crazy. I don't know if it's tracking me or not. I would love to know. Looked like it did. So if you guys notice here, the snow kind of melted. It didn't magically melt in one day. I actually forgot to film this outro. I got all the shots and realized, I better come back, get a couple more shots. It's still extremely muddy. So some of the B-roll you saw was actually filmed on day 2, but obviously you can see my tire is showing no knobs at this point because it is so muddy. It actually feels a little slicker today just because that clay starts to stick to the tires. But the main points we continue to make throughout the video still apply even more so today, making sure we're weighting those pegs, holding that weight back, trying to get off of that clutch, let that bike maintain its momentum, talking about that power delivery and collection. You guys could see in the slow-mo footage of this canyon here, right there at the end, kind of a little step and then just landing, stopping in that clutch slip that is so important to understand how to hold that bike in one position and maintain tractable control to the ground, especially when you got no knobs. It's a challenging day, but it's a lot of fun. Training in mud is so beneficial because as soon as it dries up, suddenly you're a killer rider, right? So it's been a lot of fun today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And until next time, keep shredding.